Hello and welcome to Civic Punks. So, data is political, and that's not a bug. Recently I read this fantastic post by Rebecca Mbaya. She writes something called the Africa Innovators series. So every Friday, she releases a new blog post highlighting someone in Africa, a visionary changemaker who's reshaping Africa's tech, data, and AI landscape. So the post I read was an interview she did with a woman named Pombili Paula Haitamba. Such a fun name to say. A data analyst working in Namibia. One of the things I actually love about Rebecca's series and the way she does stuff is that she blends excerpts from interviews with her own sort of deeper reflections and analysis. And this post was no different. It's thoughtful, it's layered, it's human. And particularly this article, there's so much going on in this article. And I just want to pull out some of the pieces that stood out for me. But I know you're going to read it and pull out your own insights. So definitely check it out. And yeah, share in the comments what really jumped at it for you. What stood out for me? First off, data is cool. It's not sterile, it's not bureaucratic, it's not just spreadsheets, but it's powerful. The way we collect and analyze data shapes how we understand the world and then respond to it. The way we identify problems and create solutions, and then evaluate the impact of those solutions. Pombili's really clear about something. Data doesn't sit within a vacuum. It's got context, and that context really matters. It sits inside lived experience, inside institutions, inside power structures. And when we strip away context, we risk erasing people, lived experience. So this act of engaging with data is actually an incredibly political act, and an important one, and one that any data analyst has to take seriously and understand their biases and their role within the storytelling. Pombili describes her approach as skeptical pragmatism mixed with a human-centered lens. So on the one side, you have rigorous statistical analysis, understanding the data and the information, and making sure that you're using this data properly. On the other side, you have a deep respect for the messiness that is the world. There are real world human stories that are behind this data. This data sits within a context. And always asking the question, is this data set complete? What experiences are missing? What context am I not seeing? What are the stakes? How does power play itself through this data or not? This kind of skepticism is healthy because you're constantly questioning things. And data is never the whole story. It's just a single slice of reality. And of course, data is messy, so the cleaning and the organizing and the standardizing of it is not neutral work. It is political. As a data analyst, you're making choices. You are deciding what counts and then shaping how other people interpret that. This requires a self-awareness. It requires humility about your biases and understanding how those biases are shaping the story you're telling. One of the things that was interesting that both Rebecca and Pombili talked about is this idea that data shouldn't make us comfortable. It should actually push us, because if we are comfortable, we are apathetic. Good analysis challenges assumption. It exposes gaps. It highlights inequality, and it disrupts narratives. That's not accidental. That's actually fundamentally part of the work. Now, of course, any conversation about data, AI is going to come up. And that makes sense. AI is an incredibly powerful tool for finding patterns, automating calculations, generating visualizations. And Pombili makes a crucial distinction. AI can detect patterns, but it cannot give meaning to those patterns. The very acts of giving something meaning is a human act. Interpreting those patterns through an ethical judgments, lived experience, historical awareness, and empathy, that's human work. AI is a powerful aid, but meaning is fundamentally human. One of the central examples that she talks about in this article is the housing crisis in Namibia. She uses housing as a case study to show how integrating data, challenging assumptions, understanding context can shift how you see a crisis, and therefore how you respond to it. Housing isn't just housing. It includes income, migration, urban planning, infrastructure, power. But what really stuck with me is that even though this article is written about Namibia, you could take that word away and replace it with Canada, UK, Australia, Brazil. Like, the context that she talked about there fits in so many of these other countries. And not just about the housing, but about how she's using data in general. There's so much going on in this article. There's no way I could properly capture it all in this video. I just try to highlight some of the stuff that really jumped out for me. I'm curious though, what jumps out for you? So check out the article and then let me know in the comments what is resonating from this article for you. And finally, I just want to thank Rebecca for making this series. It's fantastic. I'm going to be reading lots more of them and probably making a couple more videos. And definitely will bug her when I come to Africa in September. So thank you so much. And now you know.